Well, no wonder why the kids have so many questions. This is Wretched Radio. A brand new survey says, State of the Bible USA 2021. Guess the percentage of Gen Z youth that are Bible-centered. Before you answer that and almost certainly get it wrong, let's understand what it means to be Bible-centered. Those who use the Bible at least 3 to 4 times per year. Well, I got news for you. That doesn't make you Bible-centered. That's a drought. 3 to 4 times a year. Nevertheless, how many Gen Zers qualify for being Bible-centered? If you guess double digits, you'd be wrong. 9% of Gen Z youth are Bible-centered. Those are kids between the ages of 9 and 24 that, quote, have a precarious relationship with the Bible. Precarious? Precarious? They don't have a relationship with it at all. That's not the heart of the psalmist who declared, I love your law. I delight in your statutes. Your words are like honey from the honeycomb. That's our attitude toward the Bible. We love that book, not because it's a really cool book, which it is, but it points us to the one who loves us. That's why we love the Bible, and we desire to read it. This generation, they aren't doing it. And I believe that is why they have so many questions, and they're groping and they're searching and they're looking and trying to find the answers in all the wrong places. For instance, this was a rather fascinating article from the Federalist talking about Mark Zuckerberg is planting the first church of the metaverse. This is from an article in the New York Times. That's right. New York Times, July the 25th. That since 2017, the social media giant has quietly cultivated exclusive partnerships with select religious communities. Not ours, because they've shut us down, basically. Our Facebook page is just languishing. By the way, if you want to see all of the stuff that we have here, the entirety of the radio broadcast, all of the videos that we do, all the TV shows we produce, I would point you in a different direction. Our website, wretched.org. You can see us on YouTube, of course, and on TV and radio stations, but not Facebook so much, because they determined apparently we're bad. Did they tell us what we did? No, they didn't. Did they tell us when they're going to let us out of the penalty box? No, they didn't. They just don't release any of our stuff to anybody. Thanks, Mark. Back to the article. The company aims to become the virtual home for religious community and wants churches, mosques, synagogues, and others to embed their religious life into its platform. From hosting worship services and socializing more casually to soliciting money, you need to know that the desire and aim of Mark Zuckerberg is that Facebook would be your lifeline to everything. It would become your effective God, providing what you need for information and for community. That's his desire. And that is why they come up with some of the filtering rules that they come up with. You see, they don't, let's just say, I think we've got about 200,000 Facebook people. They don't release what we put up there to 200,000 people. They release it to a few. And if it gets engagement, they'll release it to more. So if people share it, people comment on it, Facebook lights up and says, we got one here. The community is getting engaged, and that's what they want. So they reward the Facebook page by giving it more views because it has more interaction. Why? Because there's an agenda with Facebook. And Gen Z, while not as Facebook-y as the preceding generations, I suspect Mark Zuckerberg ain't just saying forget about them. And they fall for things like online church. That's not church. You're watching a video. I don't care if it's a live stream. You can't be doing church because you're not doing it together in the flesh. It's nice to have it. You're on a trip. There's not a good church. Capiche? Got it. But that should not be our assembling of the saints routine. It's not church. It can't be. Once again this week, I can't think of the name of this hymn. It's a new hymn. And it was lovely. The music was great. Just the arrangement was well done. But the lyrics were so profound about Jesus. Oh, it was so good and what he did to reconcile me. And while we were singing it, I looked around. And you see other people singing it. And you go, yeah, it's good to be in this family. You can't get that online. I don't care if you're seeing the pictures. I'm sorry. I think little prognostication here, but as we see so many remote jobs now being offered where you can work anywhere that you want to, I suspect you're going to find a hybrid in the future. I don't think that is going to be what the majority of people dig. Is there freedom in that? Yeah. I also suspect because of human nature, productivity will drop pretty drastically. That's going to change perhaps structures of compensation. But I also think that people are going to be like, I got to get out of my bedroom. I can't sit at this desk in front of the window anymore. I'm losing it. I need people. And so I suspect that while the trend is definitely you can work from anywhere, I think once people settle into that, they're going to notice their life is missing something. And it is for you if you are not making church the centerpiece of your life. Mark Zuckerberg is trying to make Facebook the centerpiece of your life. Quote, Facebook is shaping the future of religious experience itself, as it has done for political and social life. True, ain't it? In other words, ultra-mod spiritual centers will be blessed by mass data extraction, this is sarcasm, algorithmic polarization, and censorship of theological misinformation. Local church, if you hang your hat on the Facebook peg, you ain't going to be able to preach everything you want to talk about, even if it's right there in the Bible and it's overt. You're going to have to skip over Romans 1, 1 Corinthians 6, 9 through 11. You're going to have to skip over a lot, increasingly, if it makes anybody feel bad. Be careful of the Facebook. The Church of Facebook from the Federalist is just one part of a much broader vision. 3 days before the Times article appears, The Verge published an in-depth interview with Mark Zuckerberg about his ambition to, quote, bring the metaverse to life. You can't do it. It's artificial. It's pixels. It's not flesh. There's a part of me that kind of digs one of the effects of COVID. Fist bumping. I like it because I know how often most people don't wash their hands. On the other hand, have you noticed a difference? It's not the same. It's a small thing, I know, but you bump somebody's knuckles and it's just like, bing, there it is. You don't shake hands. You can't measure anything that's happening. There's no squeezing. And it's not two hands coming together, joining as one. That's relatively, not extremely, but it's relatively intimate. Gone. Have you felt that? You're going to feel it a lot if you join the Church of Facebook, because we need to be pressing the flesh with one another. We need to be spending time with one another. We need to be exercising our gifts with one another, which, by the way, is a strong argument for the regular assembling of you in a local church. 1 Corinthians 14, on and on and on about the description of spiritual gifts. What are they? We have different lists in different sections of Scripture, Ephesians 4, 1 Peter 4, and we see that it's not an exhaustive list, but we do know that you get a gift. When you get saved, you get a unique gifting, something you didn't really have before. Now you got it a lot. Why? For the edification of the body. That's why you're given a gift from God, whatever it is, hospitality, teaching, baking, whatever the thing is that you just do that's good for people. You can't do it if you're not in a church. And so to all of the cowboy Christians, to all of the Facebook churchers, you can't practice your gifts. 1 Corinthians 14 is a compelling argument that you should be, brace yourself for this, a member of a local church. Yep, that's right. I use the M word. Back to the Federalist. The metaverse was first coined by Neil Stephenson in his 1992 dystopian novel Snow Crash. The author imagined the decadent virtual realm as an escape from a dismal society run by megacorporations. Bit of a prophetic book. In this Verge interview, Mark Zuckerberg describes the metaverse as an embodied internet. That's like dry water. The holy grail of social interactions. In other words, Mark believes Facebook is better than church. You're wrong. Jesus ain't building Facebook. He's building the church, where we can work, play, and enjoy a sense of presence alongside teleporting holograms. He predicts that within the next 5 years, yikes, Facebook will transition from people seeing us as primarily being a social media company to being a metaverse company. We've all been warned, haven't we? Make no mistake about it. People love to tear down the church. This is Wretched Radio.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is